Hey guys, welcome back to Coffee Break. If it's your first time here, my name is Bubba, and I was the coffee dude at Google for 11 years. If you are returning, definitely welcome back. On this episode, I'll be going and doing something a little different. Going to try to pivot just a little bit and kind of maybe split the two episodes that we are currently doing, about two episodes a week, and focus on two different things. So the one towards the end of the week, like this one here, I'll be doing a little more of a deeper dive into things, a little more technical stuff that's kind of geared towards people who may be like coffee shop owners or have been professionals in the industry for a long time. If you are new to coffee, or you want just a general overview of kind of what's going on with the coffee world, I'll have a different podcast focused on those kind of topics. And those will be in the beginning of the week. So you can kind of pick and choose what and how deep you kind of want to go into the news and the information. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get into it. Cool. So the first thing I want to do is actually touch on the price of coffee. Always good to know where the price of coffee stands. So as of right now, it's 228. About a year ago, it was 115. It's Arabica and Robusta 139 and 78 cents about a year ago. So definitely a big increase. If you're a coffee shop owner and you haven't increased your prices yet, but you are seeing these price increases from the coffee that you are purchasing, definitely look at maybe increasing the price of your coffee that you're selling. If not your coffee, then the other goods that you sell in your cafe. But yeah, that's the price of coffee as it stands right now. One cool story that I found that I wanted to share, it's Coffee Bros launches crypto baristas NFTs to fund future New York cafe. So if you're not familiar with what NFTs are right now, there's this huge boom with cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, and it's non-fungible tokens. So non-fungible tokens on the crypto blockchain side are right now, there's a whole bunch of different uses for it, including, tickets and eventually like driver's licenses, a whole bunch of stuff. But right now it's a set of collectible or like pieces of art that are minted on a blockchain that give it a unique signature essentially. And you're able to verify that it is very unique, and you can't alter it, you can't change it, you can't hack it. It's like the same thing as a piece of art like the Mona Lisa or any of Van Gogh stuff. It's all there. They only make so many of them, and some of them come with utility. At least for the crypto baristas ones that are kind of coming out. If you purchase these, I believe they're coming out in about 2 days. Right here, if you're looking on YouTube. The money made and raised from this is going to go to help fund a brand new cafe. First time I've seen anybody in the crypto, in the coffee world do anything with crypto or like blockchain technology. And if you kind of look here, what they're doing, they're essentially using it as an additional revenue stream, which is awesome. There's a lot other ways to make money in your cafe, and this is definitely an opportunity. So try to take advantage if you can. Some utility or perks you get for owning the piece of art are discounts and merchandise and items in their cafe, online, decisions on the next character concepts for the next NFT collection, how they're going to use their space. Also, they're putting aside about 15% of the revenue that they make in the cafe. And where that money goes really depends on the people who own the art, because they get a vote. So that could be donating it somewhere or expanding current projects that they're working on. But that was really cool. Hopefully I see a lot more of this being able to be utilized in the coffee world. Again, just another way to be able to make some money and kind of share the passion that you have for your craft. One interesting story that I had shared with me is at a place called Goma. It's in the Republic of Congo. So they're actually very close to an active volcano that goes off every once in a while, and also close to a huge lake that is filled with a whole bunch of carbon dioxide. So they're close to a lot of these kind of natural disastery kind of things happening. There was this huge eruption that happened a couple months ago. And the reason why I'm kind of bringing it up is because the city of Goma in the Republic of Congo is where a lot of the coffee from Congo moves through when it goes and gets transported through the port. So there was a huge delay of things happening. The whole city of Goma was evacuated after this thing happened. But yeah, just something to look out for. In addition to all the other delays happening in the world, this is something that they're kind of still trying to figure out and catch up with. So if you see any delays in the shipments from any Congan coffees, this is probably a big reason why. One company that's doing something a little different is ComaTear Coffee. They are in the business of uh, picking up a lot of the nation's best coffee roasters, their coffee, brewing it as best as they can, and then flash freezing it with liquid nitrogen. So this is coffee that you store in your freezer that's ready pretty much anytime you want. All you have to do is just uh, thaw it out, warm it out, heat it up, or put it mix it with milk or in water to make a cold brew. But it's supposed to be brewed to perfection apparently, and flash free to kind of lock in all the flavors. And a lot of this lasts, from what I'm hearing, in your freezer for a couple months. So pretty interesting concept. I know a lot of people, they do different types of product lines, like cold brew, flash cold brew, those kind of things you see. One of the best coffees that I've ever had that was a cold coffee was one that was brewed hot and then flash cold. A lot more of the sugars and the acids kind of pop out, a lot better overall flavor profile. But the company itself is pretty cool. You kind of see here, you just kind of melt it in water and heat it up. But apparently it's supposed to be really good. All the packaging is aluminum, so you can recycle everything. There's no grounds in anything, so it's definitely, again, like I said, recyclable. If you haven't tried it out, definitely give it a try. There's a whole bunch of roasters that they are working with or they have picked up to use. Some of the main ones are like Counterculture, Birch, Red Bay, George Howell, Clutch Coffee, Equator Coffee, let's see, and Bird Rock, which is based out of San Diego. A lot of really awesome coffee roasters. So if you are looking to try it out, I'll put a link in the show notes. If you're looking at actually starting to make it on your own, I think it'd be a cool thing to just try to experiment in your own cafe. Maybe this is another product line that you could potentially so yeah. One really good resource I found is the 2022 industry directive. So in this directive, in the Roast magazine, there is a wealth of information. So cafe equipment, looking at any kind of equipment wise, all the different companies, grinders, water filtration. You have for equipment, espresso coffee supplies, display equipment, distributors, espresso coffee supplies there. You have food and beverage stuff, chocolates, frozen drinks, gelato, if you do gelato, ready to drink and supplements, teas and teaware. You have green coffee. You have a ton of information in here. So if you're looking to expand any lines that you have, or looking to maybe start a place and you need some references, this is definitely a solid resource. So check this out. I'll make sure the link is in the show notes. The first podcast pick for the week is from Map It Forward. The topic is make multiple revenue streams off of your coffee. So she kind of referenced a couple of the previous podcasts she had, talking about supply chain issues, great resignation, which is a lot of people are leaving the coffee industry or not coming back. I know here in the Bay Area, we see a lot of turnover, a lot of new faces recently. You see freight issues, inflation, a whole bunch of things happening. And now it's going to be super important to get a head start now, to find ways to add multiple revenue streams to what you're doing. Because you don't know what's going to happen in the future, and it just doesn't really look too good right now. Let's just put it that way. So if you're a barista, what can you do to do something else to add more money in your pocket? If you're a coffee shop owner, what can you do something extra? Kind of giving the example before about the company in New York using NFTs. It's awesome. It's inventive. It's something different. There's a lot of different things you can do. You just have to kind of do your research a little bit. But definitely check this podcast out. She goes into a lot more detail about the specific ways you can add multiple revenue streams depending on where you are at in the coffee industry. So check it out. And the last podcast pick for the week is from Keys to the Shop. The topic is having a metric mindset. So one thing I learned a long time ago is if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. And being able to manage your operation is pretty huge. And Metrics, are a huge thing, but in addition to metrics, kind of like to be successful, you need to know how to be both a manager and a leader. With metrics is you need to understand the numbers, but you also need to have kind of that face-to-face time in your cafe to really get an idea of what specifically is going on. The numbers may not tell you everything, but having conversations with people who are your leads, your leaders, and also the staff will give you a lot more information. And a couple of the points it kind of talks about here that are really important to remember is to, as you're talking to your staff, as you're talking to your leaders, is to be open, to listen, be honest as you can, and really do it without critique for a lot of this stuff. Just be there to listen. Being able to listen helps build trust in the relationship between you and your staff, and allows them to buy in a little more to you as an individual, as a leader, and it'll easier to get things done in the future. Being able to connect the metrics to the greater meaning of the company and the needs of the staff is huge. So, like, we need to hit this, the labor needs to be at this percentage, let's say, or we need to make sure, the food spend for this week is up to this point, and why, a big reason and a big help is being able to connect that with, we need help, and being able to hit these numbers allows us to be able to add additional body when it does get kind of gnarly, when it does get kind of crazy. Last thing they talked about is to get context before you act on any decision. So make sure you're curious if you're asking around to people. That way you can make an informed decision. So a lot more information can be found in the podcast. Definitely check it out if you have the time. And that's all we have for this episode. If you like what you saw, hit that like button. If you have any comments or recommendations, leave them in the comment section. If you want to be notified on the latest drop, hit that subscribe button. That's all I have for today, but you guys have a fantastic rest of your weekend, and I will catch you next time.